The image presents the number of enclaves problem. We receive an M by N binary grid. A 0 represents sea, and a 1 represents land. From a land cell, we may move only to another land cell sharing an edge. The required answer is the number of land cells from which no sequence of legal moves can leave the grid. Let the cell in row R and column C be written as grid of R, C. The condition grid of R, C equals 1 means the cell is traversable land. The condition grid of R, C equals 0 means movement stops there because C is not traversable. Valid indices satisfy 0 less than or equal to R less than M, and 0 less than or equal to C less than N. From coordinates R, C, 4-directional movement gives exactly 4 candidate neighbors, R plus 1, C, R minus 1, C, R, C plus 1, and R, C minus 1. A candidate move is legal only when the destination lies inside the grid and contains 1. Diagonal cells are excluded because they do not share an edge with the current cell. We now convert the grid into an implicit graph. Every land cell is a vertex. 2 vertices are connected by an edge precisely when their cells share a side. Under this model, walking through land is equivalent to following graph edges. Therefore, a land cell can escape exactly when its graph component contains at least one land cell located on the outer boundary. Directly testing every land cell would repeat the same searches. Instead, we find the complement of the desired set. Let L be all land cells, and let E be land cells connected to the boundary. The enclave set is L minus E. Consequently, the answer is the number of elements in L minus E. The algorithm will erase E and then count what remains. The key theorem is the connected component reachability principle. If a depth-first search starts from every boundary land cell and follows every legal land edge, it visits exactly the land cells that can reach the boundary. This applies because land adjacency is symmetric. If cell A can move to adjacent cell B, then cell B can move back to cell A. The code first computes rows equals the length of grid and columns equals the length of grid at index 0. Thus rows is M and columns is N. These values define every later bounds check. Because the problem guarantees a non-empty grid, accessing grid at index 0 is valid, so no separate empty grid condition is required. Consider a search call at coordinates R, C. The call must stop if R is negative, R is at least rows, C is negative, or C is at least columns, because the coordinates are outside the grid. It must also stop when grid of R, C equals 0, because the cell is C or has already been processed. Combining these alternatives with logical OR gives the complete base condition. If the base condition is false, the coordinates are valid and the current value must be 1. The search now assigns grid of R, C equals 0. This operation changes the visited land cell into C, often called syncing the cell. The assignment records visitation, prevents repeated processing, and removes this boundary-reachable cell from the final count. After marking the current cell, depth-first search is called on each of its 4 edge-sharing neighbors. The calls are DFS of R plus 1, C, DFS of R minus 1, C, DFS of R, C plus 1, and DFS of R, C minus 1. Each call uses the same base condition, so C cells and out-of-bounds coordinates terminate safely. The left boundary consists of coordinates R, 0 for every row index R from 0 through rows minus 1. For each such coordinate, the code checks whether grid of R, 0 equals 1. When the condition is true, calling DFS of R, 0 syncs that cell and every land cell connected to it. The right boundary has column index columns minus 1. Therefore, for each row R, the relevant coordinate is R, columns minus 1. If its value equals 1, the call DFS of our columns -1 removes its entire boundary-connected component. Rechecking an already removed corner or component is harmless because its value is now 0. The top boundary consists of row 0 and every column C from 0 through columns -1. Thus each top coordinate is 0, C. The code tests grid of 0, C. When this value is 1, DFS of 0, C visits and syncs every land cell connected to that top boundary source. The bottom boundary has row index rows -1, so each bottom coordinate is rows -1, C. For every column C, the code checks grid of rows -1, C. If it equals 1, DFS begins there. After this loop, searches have been initiated from every possible boundary land cell on all 4 sides. A subtle issue appears in the screenshot's comments. The loop that varies are while fixing columns 0 and columns -1 actually scans the left and right boundaries, not the top and bottom boundaries. The loop that varies C while fixing rows 0 and rows -1 scans the top and bottom. The executable code is correct, but the comments are reversed. We first prove that every cell erased by a boundary search can escape. The initial search cell lies on the boundary, so it can leave the grid in one additional outward move. Every subsequently erased cell is reached through a chain of adjacent land cells ending at that boundary cell. Reversing this chain gives a legal path from the erased cell to the boundary. Therefore, every erased cell is boundary reachable. Next, take any land cell that can escape. By definition, there is a legal land path from that cell to some boundary land cell. The algorithm starts a search from that boundary endpoint. At each step, depth-first search calls itself on all 4 adjacent coordinates, including the next cell along this path. Repeating this argument along the finite path proves that the original cell is eventually visited and erased. Soundness shows that the erased set is contained in E, while completeness shows that E is contained in the erased set. Two-way containment proves that the erased set equals E. Therefore, after all boundary searches finish, a cell still equals 1 exactly when it was originally land and had no path to any boundary. The remaining ones are precisely the enclave cells. The expression sum of row for row in grid evaluates one row at a time. Because every entry is either 0 or 1, summing a row counts its remaining land cells. The outer sum then adds these row totals. Algebraically, the answer equals the sum over R from 0 to rows -1 of the sum over C from 0 to columns -1 of grid of R, C. In the first pictured example, the land cell in the leftmost column lies on the boundary. Boundary depth first search starts there and changes that 1 to 0. It is not connected through land to the 3 interior ones, so those 3 values remain unchanged. Summing the processed rows contributes 0 from the removed boundary component and 3 from the enclosed component. The algorithm therefore returns 3. In the second pictured example, at least one land cell lies on the top boundary, and every other land cell belongs to the same connected component. Search begins at the boundary land cell and follows 4 directional land connections until every one in that component becomes 0. No land remains after boundary processing. Therefore, every row sum is 0, and the returned answer is 0. There are m times n cells. Once a land cell is visited, it immediately changes from 1 to 0, so no later call processes it as land again. Each processed land cell examines exactly 4 neighbor coordinates, which is constant work. The boundary loops and final summation also inspect at most a constant multiple of m times n cells. Hence the total time complexity is big O of m times n. Because visitation is stored by modifying the grid, no separate m by n visited array is needed. However, recursive depth-first search uses the call stack. In the worst case, a winding connected component can contain m times n cells, producing big O of m times n stack space. With dimensions up to 500 by 500, Python may exceed its recursion limit. An explicit stack preserves the same traversal while avoiding recursion depth failure. The complete technique is boundary flood fill followed by counting. Start from every boundary land cell, traverse only 4 directionally adjacent land, and mark every reached cell as 0. The proof establishes that these marked cells are exactly the cells capable of escaping. Summing the remaining ones therefore returns exactly the number of enclave land cells. The method runs in big O of m times n time and modifies the input grid.